Thanks for listening to our podcast, Living Life with the Rogers. My name is Cameron.
And I'm Kira, and this is a lifestyle podcast where we talk about hashtag all the things. Listen in.
Hello, listeners. We are excited to be back with a new episode of Living Life with the Rogers in a new location.
We are out of the closet.
So this may be a one-time thing, but it's a real big adventure for us. We're in new territories.
Well, since, we have like 10,000 kids now, we're out of bedrooms. And so the baby is in our room, but that's usually where we record the podcast. But she's actually napping for once in our life. So this is where we are today in the office. And I don't know if the acoustics are going to be as good because we don't have all our clothing to soak up the sound, but we'll see.
Yep, and we are fully festive and decorated. So if you're listening and you haven't checked out our videos on the Instagram, you're going to want to see the effort we put into it. I put a lot of effort. I almost broke a sweat, actually, into our attire. We are hanging out with our gnomies, and we got some good signs. So really excited for Christmas and the holiday season.
Okay.
And I feel like you got to show off your nails real quick. Look at these daggers. And what do we got? Explain them.
They're the Grinch. You're a mean one, Mr.
So,
Grinch.
for those of you out there, Kira every once in a while gets her nails done, and so she went up to her nail tech and she said, I want to get nails that expresses who I am deep down. And then the lady immediately knew. She's like, I know what to do.
That's not true.
Well, then correct what the untruth is.
Well, let's kick it off with your favorite Christmas movie, because that is my favorite Christmas movie. The Jim Carrey version of The Grinch. I just think he is hilarious in that movie. He does such a good acting, and the message is so sweet.
Yeah, and what do you think about the new animated? When I say new, it's probably like 3 years old now.
It's still good. It's cute. I would put it under the real life version, but it's still good.
So serviceable.
Serviceable.
So if you're in a pinch and you couldn't find the Jim Carrey version.
Well, our kids like the animated version better than the real life version because it's like more engaging for them. But I prefer to watch the real life version.
I'm kind of with you on that one, and I would say mine is definitely Home Alone. And
1 or 2.
You guys start with 1.
Don't
OG.
Even put 3 or 4 in the mix because
I mean, come on.
Waste of time. So 1 or 2.
So first one for sure.
Okay.
It's the OG. You got a visitation from the Donald Trump, and I know that just saying that's going to cancel our podcast, and it's great. And then the second one's just about as good because at that point we're the sticky bandits, and that's pretty awesome. But yeah, once you get to the third, it's like, what are we doing here, Hollywood?
Yeah, once they lost Macaulay Culkin, how do you say his name?
And speaking of which, he got a star on the Walk of Fame.
I know. How do you say his name?
Huh?
Macaulay
Culkin?
Is that what did I say? Okay. Yeah, once he was gone, it was like, what are we even doing? Why?
So I heard he came from a large household with a lot of kids and a really messed up situation. But so I guess there's hope that maybe one of our kids could be a child actor. That would be pretty awesome.
No.
So Callie just confirmed. She just said in the background, she said, no way, Jose.
All right, let's talk about our traditions that we do each year. Do you want to go through all of them or just our favorites?
I think we should go through every single tradition ever because I think everybody would love to hear 3 hours worth of traditions.
No. I'll just throw out a couple and then you can add to the list. So this one's a hot topic in our house. We cut down our tree most years, except for the years that Cameron says, I'm not keeping another thing alive, so we're not getting a real tree.
I mean, yeah, to my defense, it's like she was like, let's go cut a tree. And I'm like, okay. And then I ask her, I'm like, well, are you going to, help me kind of water, do so? Oh, sure. 100%, yeah, I'll definitely
Meanwhile,
help you out.
I don't keep any plants alive in our house.
And then remember we had this conversation a couple of days ago. It was like, I was like, have you watered it? And she's like, what do you mean watered it? And I'm like, oh, no.
I didn't think it had to be watered every damn day. That's a lot of water.
I mean, especially early on, those things are thirsty. I mean, they're thirsty. They're like college kids on a Thursday. They get real thirsty.
So anyway, I was like, yeah, I guess I can help keep this thing alive, but I focus on keeping the humans alive. I don't have time for the plants.
And you know what? Amen, sister. If all our plants were thriving and our kids are dying, we would have issues. So I'm glad you...
So there have been years where like we have a newborn. Like I think when Zoe was a newborn, maybe we didn't get a real tree. We were like, it's just too much right now. But I would say 75% of the time we get a real tree. I love it. I love going and cutting it down. So we'll shout out Gunpowder
them gunpowders.
Gunpowder Tree Farm. We went there this year for the first time, and it was really cute. They had like a whole barn of kids' activities that they loved, and we liked. It was a nice little family-owned joint.
Yeah, I'm sure if you type in gunpowder, you might be able to find it. But yeah, Gunpowder Tree Farm. But then that's the other thing. So first of all, my stance is I love any trees. I don't care if it's artificial. Good for you. God bless you. Maybe you have allergies. That's fine. And the other thing though are people. The true Christmas fans say that you have to cut down a tree. And it reminds me of National Lampoon's The Quest to Cut Down a Tree. But then you have the other people that are like, no, you just go to any place and you just pick out a tree and that counts. And I would disagree. It's not the same.
Yeah, you got to cut it down. But there are people that do like massive, large fake ones. And I can respect that because it's like if you want to go all out, you can't be buying like a 15-foot tree every year because it's expensive. So I'm like, you know what? The big fake ones, I can wrap my head around that. Like you do you, boo. But we like to cut it down.
Are we a tinsel family or non-tinsel?
We are a non-tinsel family, although I'm open. I'm willing to dabble with the tinsel. I haven't gone there yet. All right, what other traditions do we do?
Let's see. So a huge one that was passed down from my household is decorating the outside with Christmas lights. And for those hillbillies that are listening to our podcast, yes, you do take them down sometime in January. So not a good idea to leave the lights up all year long and then to expect to just turn them on, around the Christmas holiday. So decorating the outside. And when we're decorating the outside, there's two approaches. There's a clean and classic, and then there's the throw whatever lights work approach. And again, I don't really have a bias. I'm like, as long as you're lighting it up, like to me, I hate daylight savings time. I hate when it's dark out, and I love to see Christmas lights. So it's a great time of the year to drive around and see the lights. So put any lights.
We tend to go classic though. We do red and white, which is really nice. We haven't gotten too far into the color world, but
these new LEDs. Can we talk about these new LEDs? And
awful.
then we're mixing. So for those out there, there's incandescent, which is the classic, which is what we're used to. All of us.
Iridescent.
Incandescent. I appreciate your effort. So incandescent's the classics, and then these new LEDs. So they're great for the environment, right? Fantastic, love it. Can't wait till they end up in the landfill, but let's not worry about that. So, but they're too harsh. They're a little bright, and again, all lights. I'm pro lights. So throw your lights up. I don't care if you're LEDs. I love you just as much as the incandescent folks. But I don't like the mixture. It's like if you're gonna have one, just stick with incandescents or stick with LEDs. So I'm in this whole trying to make my incandescents still work, and I haven't committed to the LEDs, but you do you, boo. And I feel like we should give a disclaimer. If you hear jingle bells, it's our headpieces. Listen to this.
Hey, it's festive.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like nodding my head, and I feel like I hear some like faint jingle bells. So yeah,
she left. We have an elf that comes to visit our house every year, and that's a hot topic.
Well, it's a love-hate relationship.
Every night we're like, move the damn elf, but we don't go like crazy all out on it. They like finding it, like it's like a hunting game every morning. And also like we don't really lean into the whole like that if you're naughty, it may get thrown out once or twice through the whole Christmas season. Oh, the elf is watching. But we try not to like really like guilt them or damn them if they're doing stuff bad and saying that Santa's not going to bring them gifts because that's just mean.
Around here,
I know, that's just so mean. But you can still do it and just have fun with it and do it simple. Like, I don't know. It doesn't have to be crazy, but it's fun for them.
Are we over fruitcake at this point? Are we a generation that's finally saying we've had enough? We've had enough with your
fruitcake.
Yeah, so fruitcake is like, I mean, see, this shows our age gap, right? So the 4-year difference is really our age gap in that. I feel like growing up, I kind of had it here and there, but we didn't really have it much. But it's like generations before us, like I mean, it was a Christmas staple. It's like your honey ham and your fruitcake.
Listen, we never ate fruitcake. I don't know what
So
kind
we're
of
done with the
torture.
fruitcake.
I don't
So
know
this is
what
the
kind of
generation we're
torture
declaring
you
it
were-
on this podcast, Living Life with the Rogers 2023. We are done with the fruitcake. If you're a fruitcake manufacturer, prepare to shut your doors.
No fruitcakes around here. We usually drive to see the lights when it gets closer to Christmas. We go to Hershey Lodge for a night, and we go to Hershey Park and see the lights. We do that. We go to church on Christmas Eve.
What do you call the churchgoers for Christmas? What are they called?
Well, it's Creaster. It's the Christmas and the Easter churchgoers.
Yeah, I like that.
What else do we do? We do fondue for Christmas dinner.
But that was bougie. Like it's a delicious, it's awesome. But I feel like most people
let
do.
us
Again,
live our
that's the honey ham and the
bougie-
fruitcake or the turkey or something like that.
We were bougie.
Like,
We do fondue and it's delicious.
I'm just trying to tell the audience that like when you're sitting there going, Christmas traditions and you say fondue, people are gonna be like, what in the world?
We have a little holiday party with some friends every year. And of course we do plenty of like Christmas movie nights where we just have a fire, order pizza, watch a Christmas movie. Did you tell us? Oh, you did tell us your favorite Christmas movie. And I think, is that about it for traditions? Anything
Then
else?
I feel you gotta have your favorite Christmas song.
Oh.
And if you say Mariah Carey, all I want is for I'm like, come on, people, we can do better.
Favorite Christmas song?
Mine is Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. Well, actually, I have two. Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. And then Beach Boys, something about
You don't even know.
the man with all the toys. He's the man with all the toys. He is the man up with all
Okay. I don't
the
think I have a
toys
favorite song. I don't know.
And I feel like you have to sing it.
Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Didn't you just say that? No, you said rocking around the Christmas tree. I don't know. I don't have a favorite song.
Wow. All
I'm
right.
not really
non-committal.
musical.
Yeah, non-committal. Callie, what's your favorite Christmas song?
Jingle bells.
She said Jingle Bells. She's a
Bells.
classic. A lot of people are going to agree
like
with that. They're going to like the classics.
Okay, so
What are some Christmas do's? Like, what are some like the things that like, if somebody comes into our screwed up American culture and they go, help me be an American idiot like you guys, and I want to learn the Christmas ways. What would you say is the first thing?
Here
to do?
are my top tips for surviving the Christmas season and maybe actually enjoying it. Wow, but can I mix my do's and my don'ts because they kind of go together?
I like structure and order. You're
I'm
gonna
a little
partially kill
chaotic,
me
so-
on the inside.
So do's is pick a way to bless somebody else during the Christmas season. So we start off our Christmas season by doing Operation Christmas Child. We do that every year, and we pack 50 boxes with my mom, which is a lot of fun. And then we also do something with her soccer team, and then we try and pick an angel tree from the church. So that would be my do, is like if you can think of some way to bless the community around you. Do pick a few Christmas activities that your family loves and don't overdo it. So pick just like maybe 3, I don't know, 5, whatever works for your
13.
family. No, and like schedule some downtime just for movie nights, just for chilling, just for doing your online Christmas shopping, because there's so many things out there that you could do, and it's like you cannot possibly do it all. So pick a couple things that you specific to your family that you love to do, and just forget about the rest. It doesn't matter. Don't have FOMO. It's all good. Everyone's probably miserable seeing Santa and screaming at each other, seeing lights anyway. So it doesn't really
You're not
matter.
having fun till everybody's melting down and screaming at each other, and that's when you feel the Christmas spirit.
And then my last do would be to limit the amount of gifts that you buy for people and maybe get on the same page. Like we moved to like a Secret Santa structure with the older kids in Cam's family because there's like 8 of us, 6, 7, 8, I don't know.
So give the quick rundown.
Yeah, so like we each draw a name out of a hat, or we use an online thing called Elfster. My brother-in-law does it. And we're just shopping for one adult instead of buying all of Cam's brothers and sister-in-law's gifts. So it cuts down on the amount of gifts that we have to buy. And then like with our kids, we'll say, okay, we're going to get each kid 3 gifts. And then we try and tell my mom used to do like 10 gifts each. And we were like, whoa, bro, this is a lot of control. So now I'm like, okay, can you do 5? So my do would be just, get a couple meaningful gifts. My don't would be don't go into debt, spend thousands of dollars, get way out of hand with the shopping, because it's just nobody needs that amount of stuff, and it's too much of a burden.
Well, that's why I love when you suggested that, and Kurt ran with that. He did this elfster.com, and it just basically it picks the person you're shopping for, and we set the limit to $50, but you can pick your limit because I feel like I have 4 brothers, and you have a brother, and then our families, like my one brother has 3 kids, so we get to the point where now at the holidays, you add it up. I mean, how many people do we shop for, right?
At one point it was like 20, and I was like, this is just too much.
It was it was a financial strain. It was a shopping strain. It was, a lot of stress, and it kind of sucked the life out of, the whole point is to give out of the joy of your heart, and it just sucked the life out of everything. So when you mentioned that, it just alleviated a lot of stress, made it easier. Everybody loves it. It's fun. You get surprised of who you're shopping for and who's getting stuff for you. So completely love that idea.
Yeah, and I would also say, try and set a budget for even the people that you do shop for. So that, again, you're not going into debt trying to buy gifts for everybody. And there was another thing I was going to say about that. And I don't
And it's
know.
gone.
And there it goes. Goodbye. What are your do's and don'ts? Any hot takes on enjoying the Christmas season?
One thing I'm working on, so one of my favorites is decorating outside. And I'm kind of particular. And so this is for those dads that, are setting up Christmas with their kids. I guess I've had to learn to let go of being particular. Just let the kids participate and let them do their best. And it might be a little weird. And I say it's like giving our decorations character. Like maybe they decorate the bush with lights and it doesn't look amazing, but it's like it gave that bush some character. Let them do the best that they can do, because I think their participations is what this season's about. It's about being together with those that you love. And so I've learned over the years to kind of just let some things go and just enjoy the company with them. Turn on the Christmas music, we wear our hats, and we go out there.
Yeah,
and
the same goes for decorating the Christmas tree. Like this year, Zoe is a freaking train wreck, and so I just told the kids, listen, you can decorate the tree, you can put the ornaments wherever you want, but let's just not put out any of the breakable ornaments this year, because there's a few that are special to me that I love that I don't want to get broken. So I'm like, you know what, this year we're just not going to even put them out. So you guys go have fun, decorate. And the girls actually did a pretty good job. I mean, is it a little clumpy and this and that? But it's who cares? The memories with them and the memories that they're making are so much more important and so much more fulfilling than having a perfect looking tree. So
yeah, get your families involved, man.
Yeah.
Work together as a team. It's not if you're setting up HGTV or home and garden kind of stuff, it's God bless you, good for you. I love to look at it. But most of the time with the household with kids, it's just going to be what it's going to be.
And there's going to be a season when the girls are older and they are not 2 and 5 and all this stuff. It's I'll be able to make my house look a little bit more adult-like. But for now, it's we have little kids. It's going to look like little kids live here, and it's sweet. And I'll appreciate this season for what it offers. And then when they get older, I'll appreciate that season for what it offers. So it's find the joy and the gratitude in the season that your family is in now. And also, it's really cute that they want to start shopping for each other. So that's another thing we encourage. We just take them out, set a budget, let them buy little gifts for each other. Just anything you can do where I think people are thinking about each other and considering others this time of year is a really good time to focus on that and lean into that lesson.
Yeah, and as far as don'ts, I just want to piggyback off yours. Is don't get overwhelmed in the season. Don't go too fast paced. Don't try to do everything. Don't overflood your holiday season with activities, because that invites the stress, the chaos. Just slow and steady wins the race. We just, over the last couple weeks, I think all we did was went to the Gunpowder Tree Farm and we took our time. We spent about an hour and a half there. Just made it a big event.
And movie nights, like I said, I feel movie nights are a good way to get in some festiveness, but still have your kids just have a mental break and a detox. That's a good way to kind of still have some fun without it being super overwhelming for everybody.
Yeah. So that's my big one, is just do a couple little activities, do things that bring joy. A lot of the activities we've gotten away from is the things with high crowds, high volume, those kind of things where it's you have to wait an hour and a half for a tree lighting or something.
yeah,
It just
no.
gets to be it's fun for a season, but it gets to be too much.
Yeah, we've done tree lightings in the past, and it's like you're standing out in the cold for an hour, and then it takes like 10 seconds to light the tree, and you're like, woo.
Yeah, so next to us we have the avenue, and they have a tree lighting, and so just go in the next day when the tree is lit and take a picture in front of it. And that's the same
You can
experience.
still see the tree once it's all lit. Also, don't build a gingerbread house. That is my least favorite Christmas activity. The house never stays together. It's such a mess. And then you have this giant house glopped in icing with all these like random candies that nobody actually likes to eat. And it's like, what do you do with it afterward?
So about the gingerbread house, I mean, there's steps to doing it. You gotta like put the first coat of icing, let it cure, let it rest, then come back to it when it's dry. And the problem is when you're sitting with the kids, they just want to see it from start to finish being done immediately. So you'll kind of get it built, and all the parts are sagging, and it's more of like a gingerbread.
It's a no
flat.
for me, dog. It's a no for me. Okay, in terms of gifts for each other, we've done this a lot of different ways. Like this year, I think we're just like, screw it. But like there are years where we've been like, okay, let's set a budget. Let's do something that we could do together. Like I think just again, we've talked about this before, communicating with your partner beforehand so that like one person doesn't end up with like a really nice gift and then the other person has like nothing. Even like stockings, we have to communicate because like one year I forgot to give Cam a stocking and he was like, hey, my stocking's empty. I was like, yeah, it is. So yeah, I think
At least I didn't get coal.
True. At least just communicate beforehand about what you would like to do in terms of gifts for your significant other.
Yeah, and I feel like that everything unspoken is where the problems begin. So we used to do a lot of gifts for each other, making a big fuss. Now that we have a lot of kids, we have narrowed it down. So we kind of just had this conversation. We're like, so what do we want to do with each other? And we just set a small budget for each other, and that's what we're going to do. And just keep it simple, keep it lighthearted. We'd rather go out and like spend a date night together and say that's our little Christmas gift to each other. So I would just say you start communicating. You don't have to communicate what you want. Some people like to be surprised. So set the budget and just keep it, just communicate it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, talk about it. Okay, and then the last thing I will say before we wrap this up, did we do unpopular?
We haven't. No, we'll do it.
I don't know if I have one. I have to think. Okay.
I got one.
So last thing I will say is like, don't be afraid. Once you have kids, Christmas can look different because you're now trying to create memories and moments with your little like immediate family. So I would just say like, don't be afraid to like set boundaries when it comes to actual Christmas Day, because you can celebrate Christmas with friends and family like anytime. It doesn't have to be on Christmas Day. Like some people get so stuck on like, oh, it's Christmas Day, and it's like, okay, well, we can make the Tuesday before special or the third. It's all about what you make of it. Just because it's a day on the calendar doesn't mean like that's the day it has to happen. So like if you want to have Christmas morning at home with just your little family and not see family till 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or even the next day, if you don't want to travel to see your family during the holidays, like that's okay. Don't be afraid to put those boundaries, my favorite word, boundaries in place with family and friends, and make Christmas what you want it to be. Like a way, make it so that you're going to enjoy it with your family and you're not going to just be miserable the whole time. So we've done a lot of different things. We still like to, spend time with both sides of the family on Christmas, staying at my mom's house one night because she just has plenty of room to house us all, which is really nice. But yeah, it can look different and you should be able to make it what you want it to look like.
Love it. Very true. Don't get obsessed on the day. So, unpopular opinion. And actually, do you care if I kick it off?
Sure.
All right. My unpopular opinion is that, be offended or not, I call it Christmas. And I know a lot of people are just like rolling in their graves going, no, it's called the holiday season, or we call it Xmas, or you can't offend anybody. Well, at this point, we've just about offended everybody, and if I haven't offended you, the time's coming where I'm going to offend you too. But I like to call it Christmas. For me, it's Christmas. Now, at the same time, I really do, deep down, I respect if this season you have a different religion, or whatever. That's fine. You call it what you want to call it. That's great. Let's mutually respect each other. And so for me, I feel like even when like I type like emails and everything, like we used to be able to say, you know, Merry Christmas or this and that. Now we have to go Happy Holidays. And I mean, that's fine. I get it. We can't offend everybody. We're in such a cancel culture, which I'm so freaking sick and tired of. Here's the reality. I believe that this season's about worshiping the baby boy of Jesus, the Son of God. And it's a great season where we get to worship our Creator who created us, created this world, saved us, and it's an amazing day. So it's so much more than just, and that's the other thing. The don't on this whole thing is don't get lost in why Christmas is even in existence. Yeah, Santa Claus is great. Yeah, all this other stuff's great, but it's because of the birth of Jesus. So that's what I believe, and that's why when I say Merry Christmas to you, or if I want to celebrate Christmas, that's why I say that, because that's my belief. And I live in a wonderful country where I'm allowed to believe that. Now, at the same time, if I go Merry Christmas to you and you want to go, oh, Happy Holidays, that's great. I love that. You tell me what it means to you. But we live in a world where we can't even necessarily share what it means to me. So, I'm very in this whole kumbaya. So I'm going to tell you it's Merry Christmas. I believe in the birth of Jesus, and I'm so happy that on the 25th of December, that's what I get to celebrate. And you know what? If you want to believe something different, that's your God-given right too, and I respect the heck out of it. So what's your unpopular opinion?
So my unpopular opinion would be just try not to overdo it and worry so much about how many Christmas things you can do and what pictures you can take and what you can post on social. Like, don't feel like just because you see another mom doing it on social does not mean that you have to do it. Like, do what's going to bring you joy, do what's right for your family, and just don't, try and just be the trendiest Instagram mom and have like the most decorated house and the most presents for their kids under the tree. Like, just keep it simple. Do a couple of fun things because it is a fun season. Oh, the Kenilworth trains. I knew there was something else we like to do. That's a fun little stop if you're looking for something. But yeah, so
I love how a woman's brain works. Oh, I left the meatloaf in the oven. Oh, Kenilworth train. Oh, my favorite song.
Yeah, just don't feel the pressure to be all, do all. You should be able to enjoy the season as well, which is why I mentioned that Cam and I do like a couple things. We went to like a Christmas bar with some friends. We had a holiday party with our friends. Like, we should be able to enjoy it too. So it's like, make sure that it's a well-rounded, everybody gets to have fun this year. Keep it simple. Pick your top 3 and just call it a day. And don't worry about what the mom... Thank you for that.
It's a Christmas gold.
Don't worry about what the mom next door is doing. If it doesn't bring you joy, just forget about it. So
forget about it.
Forget about it. All right.
My Christmas cold took it out of everybody.
All
That's
right,
the other
we're
thing
gonna
about
wrap
Get
it
your
up.
vitamin C ready because the sicknesses are coming.
Oh, yeah. There's been years. Oh, my gosh. Wait, last thing. Lower your expectations. There have been years where we haven't even been able to get together with family because of sicknesses. So, like, for Christmas Day, just have realistic expectations going in because
Fevers,
you never
colds,
know.
COVID.
And Christmas has typically been a long day for our kids. Like, usually by the end of the day, they're, like, done. So it's a lot. So just level off for your expectations. And don't worry about being super holly jolly. Just be, like, a little holly jolly.
Where's
Just
your
a little
holly
bit.
jolly meter?
We just
Make
want
sure
like
it's just in
a
the middle.
sprinkle of holly jolly.
Yeah. God bless everybody as you go through your holiday season. Merry Christmas to you all, and I hope you have a lot of fun watching Harry and Marv get pranked in a mega trap house.
Hopefully we'll see you guys before the new year, but if not, Happy New Year.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Easter.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Living Life with the Rogers with Cameron and Kira.
You can find us over on Instagram at Living Life with the Rogers Family. We love to post on there, and we will check in on DMs and comments and get back to you guys if you have any questions. And if you would like to hear future episodes, make sure you follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See ya.